Anime has peaked in its current form. There really hasn't been a new breakout show, and yet the anime industry is supposed to double by 2030? How does that work? I think I know why the anime community is about to take off in the near future, and I don't think you're gonna like it. That is because I think the main drivers of that growth will be Netflix and Disney. But hey, these are just my opinions and maybe everything will be just fine. So why do I think it's going to be Disney and Netflix? Well, the answer is actually quite obvious. North America is just the fastest growing market in the anime industry right now. Add to that fact that both Netflix and Disney have been investing a lot of money into anime content and creating partnerships in the anime industry, and then you slowly start to see the bigger picture. But what will actually change though? Some of these changes will be bigger, some of them will be smaller, some of them are not even related to Netflix and Disney. I think one change that's definitely going to occur is a different trope, or different tropes in general. No more isekai, definitely less obnoxious side characters and more female-led shows, I would assume. But I think many of those changes will just depend on how much political correctness will influence their decisions, so we don't know really. Maybe the tropes don't change at all. Or maybe we end up with a super diverse cast which is trying to save the world from microplastics. Who knows? But what I do know is no more lollies.
It's time to stop!
There is just no way that either one of them, Netflix or Disney, would produce a show which includes lollies. That's just unthinkable. For years now, the anime industry has been one New York Times article away from being cancelled for tolerating lollies, sitcoms, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we could also just ask ChatGPT and see what he thinks. Something else that I could see changing is the target audience for those animes. I also think that Netflix and Disney will target an audience which is usually older than the average anime consumer. I mean, if you think about it, we now have an audience in their 20s and 30s who grew up on anime and they still love anime, so it only makes sense to create animes which target those audiences. They are older now, which means certain tropes just won't work on them anymore. So now you have to create animes where the characters actually have to live with their consequences. And I'm not only talking about fight shows here. I'm also talking about romance anime. This, as your season finale, won't work anymore. Which is why I think we will finally see anime characters go all the way now. And I'm not talking about this, but something more normal. Another change that we've already been seeing in the anime industry is the introduction of CGI.
A lot of CGI.
And we're currently at a point where it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. And we are not seeing the introduction of CGI because it's cheaper, but we are seeing the introduction of CGI because people think it's going to look better in the future than current anime does. We already live in a time where we have CGI scenes that don't look that bad, so I think it's only a matter of time before we reach the point where CGI overall will look good. Now, let's talk about the positive changes. Everybody keeps talking about AI right now, so I think it's only a matter of time until the anime manga community catches up with it and we will see the simultaneous releases of both regular manga and the AI colored version of it. Not only does this make manga more appealing and might increase the sales again, but it also makes it easy for Western audiences to get used to it, since most people in the West are just more used to comics instead of black and white manga. Another change that we will definitely see by 2030 in the anime industry, which we have already been seeing in the last couple of years, is the introduction of gaming-based anime. And I am not talking about Japanese video games getting anime adaptations. I'm talking about games that you love, that you play, that will get an anime adaptations like League of Legends and Cyberpunk already did. I think games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex are next. At the beginning of this video I said that there are no new breakout shows. But that doesn't mean that I think that there are no shows out there that have the potential to be breakout shows. For example, Haikyuu was a great success in the anime community, despite the fact it's about a sport nobody really cares about. So what if we had a sports anime with the same quality of writing as Haikyuu, but it was about a sport that we cared about? This man needs to make a comeback. If we get a remake of Slam Dunk, oh, it's over.
In today's world where NBA highlights dominate Twitter and Instagram, that's an instant classic. I bet you this man would get his own Nike deal.
We also can't forget about Ice Shield 21. It's about American football, it's got racism in it, it's meant for the US. I know there's almost a unanimous opinion on live action adaptations of animes, but it's only going to get worse from here. And by worse, I mean there will be a lot more. I mean, technically, Disney does not have a necessarily bad rep when it comes to live action adaptations, because look at all of these. These are technically speaking all live action adaptations of the comics. But we are more likely going to get this than this. The last change I want to talk about in this video might even be the biggest, because I think we're at the cusp for the golden age of manhwa. I mean, technically this is not something new since we already have some anime adaptations for some manhwas, but to be honest, they really did not live up to the expectations. There are so many good manhwas out there that I'm promising you it's going to be a great fucking time. The next wave of anime adaptations for manhwas has already been announced, and I think this time they will definitely be living up to the expectations. Because this time around nobody's expecting the new One Piece or the new Dragon Ball to be released, but instead they just hope for a good anime adaptation, and I think this time everybody will be happy with what is about to come. To be honest, in the last couple of years manhwa has been so good that I'm not even mad if you say you prefer manhwa over manga. I mean, look at this. This is just ridiculous. The art style is blowing me away every single time I read a new chapter. You get introduced to different cultures, different tropes, different character developments. It's just a very different experience from manga, and overall, it's such a fresh breath of air. Honestly, I think a lot of anime and manga fans don't even know about manhwa and its greatness, so I think I need to create a YouTube video about all the great manhwas and especially which ones to avoid. And there you have it, all the changes that I think we will see in the anime community by 2030. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen in the next couple of years, and let's revisit this topic in 2030. Thanks for watching.